Hey, Mila, King.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try this again. I need a selfie stick.
Roxanne, say Roxanne, say Roxanne, say Roxanne.
Good afternoon, y'all. You guys are listening to Roxanne. I am your hostess with the mostest, Roxanne. I got my partners in crime, Six Starborn.
What up, y'all?
My baby mother, Mila Machenko. Wait, hold up. Hip hop soul singer,
Yeah.
Mila Machenko.
Hey, boo.
In the building. I also got with me a special guest. His name is King Gilmore. King Gilmore, rare. How you doing today, King?
I'm great. I'm honored and pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you for being here. First of all, King Gilmore will be joining us during R&R, and it's coined Jailbird or Phoenix. My lips don't want to cooperate today. Gilmore will share his story on how he changed his life after being incarcerated, and hopefully his story will inspire many of our brothers and sisters out there in the past, got caught up in the past.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned for a little R&R. How's everyone doing today?
Great,
Whoop, whoop.
great.
Mila, that's what the problem is. Baby Mata.
I'm sorry.
That's what the problem is right now.
I got caught slipping. I'm
thirsty.
I'm sorry.
I'm parched.
Who wants
Star
a drink?
tender.
Who wants a drink? You want a drink? You want a drink?
Six
You want a
cup-
drink?
six-
How about you, lady? You good? All right.
Six, grab your cup.
It's
grab
my
your cup.
job. I know.
I want to give a special happy birthday shout out to my son who just turned 18 years old, Oshan, aka Shaky, aka Billy Waters, aka I don't know, Frank Ocean, I guess. And I'd like to give my Chatty Waddy a happy 9th birthday shout out as well. You so yummy. Thank you, Sis.
It's a lot of Geminis in the cycle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Special shout out to the
It's
brother
crazy.
Victorious. His birthday is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, it certainly is.
Yeah, it's your birthday. I want to give a birthday shout out to my homeboy,
Please do.
Abdul Rahman. My dude,
Gotcha.
actually, most brother. It's his birthday.
Rare,
today.
happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
It's a lot of good Gemini.
See what
energy in
happened
this
was-
cycle.
Gemini too.
You're a Gemini. When's your birthday?
May 31st.
Bang,
Wait a
bang,
minute
that's Tuesday.
now. Yes.
It's a lot of good Gemini. Shout out to Gemini.
And I like
season.
Geminis. It just went out somewhere. But let me tell you,
Right.
but you know about the whole Gemini, the chasers in the bag.
No, I'm looking for Six's cup.
You just poured it.
Oh,
It's only 3 of us drinking. But the thing with the Geminis, yeah, it's only 3 of us drinking. My earphone keeps going in and out. But you know why there's a lot of May babies, right?
why is
It
that?
starts to get chilly.
Rush
You need
around.
to hug. Yo, my earphone is going in and out. I hope you guys can hear me clearly because I'm going to
I can hear
You're
you.
fine, I
Roxy.
got you.
All right, there we go. Well, there we don't go.
I'm tangled in the matrix right now, but
Listen.
we're gonna have to work it out.
We're gonna have to send out a memo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Fleet Week in NYC.
It is
So
Fleet
Wait.
yes,
There were a few birthdays.
many? Tell
We
me.
got a happy birthday to the Notorious
Definitely.
B.I.G.
yeah,
Yes.
B.I.
One time
Malcolm
for
X.
Malcolm X.
Happy
Malcolm X.
belated birthday, Grace Jones. Happy belated birthday. There's another one, Ronald Isley.
Word. Mr. Big.
Gemini season is lit.
It's really turned up. But I'm gonna let y'all get y'all shine on because me, Beyonce, and Michael Jackson will be celebrating in September.
See, damn Virgos can never let it's like
All right.
7 more signs in between.
I
y'all.
know. Mila, may I get some crayons?
Yes, dear.
I know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Fleet Week. The Navy men are out, so for all you women and men that like this sort of thing, you know where to go.
I made a joke on Twitter and nobody cared,
Was
so
it
I just have to
received?
say it here again
Please.
because I thought it was completely
I think it
fucking
might be
clever.
funny.
I said that you guys should go out and find you a seaman and blow reveille on that dick, but nobody seemed to care.
I think that was quite clever.
Get it, Blow Reveille.
I like the semen part, especially. Well, you know all about the semen.
All right.
Two words.
Let's moving forward.
I just want to say congratulations to Akon for Six shared an article where what is he doing? Six, you
He
missed the
donated
info.
like what's a couple like $1 billion or something to
Right.
to Africa, to building a school that's going to teach engineering, electrical engineering,
Can't
and solar
beat that with a
power
bat.
engineering. He's saying that there's enough. Africa gets 360 days of sunlight, which is enough to power the entire continent.
Yo.
for a whole
Hell
year.
yeah.
So he's building
Yeah.
a school that will teach students what they need to know to build the facility to then power Africa.
And
So he's
maintain
taking the
it.
first step, and that's a brother who, regardless of his flaky past,
or not so flaky past, but go ahead.
he's put his money where his mouth is as far
Yeah.
as building Africa.
Yeah. Shout out to
can.
Akon.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say nothing about the blood diamonds.
Oh Jesus, Lord.
Like about his blood diamond mind and nothing like that.
seemed
I'm
like
not
you
gonna say
already
anything
did.
about lying about the whole incarceration thing. you know.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna say nothing about the being a polygamist, but ain't got nothing to do
Wait,
with
what's
me.
wrong? There's nothing wrong with that part. Ain't nothing wrong with that part.
I just said that to conjure attention here. I figured that people probably would detest what I was going to
We're
say.
gonna have to do a polygamy show soon.
Real. Well, I got to finish my congrats. I want to congratulate, shout out to Mila Machenko, Hip Hop Soul, for debuting her video directed by the God Victorious Brooklyn Blues featuring Paul Joseph. You can check it out on YouTube. This is a songstress right here, you
I
guys.
did that.
She's super dope, and Victoria
I
did a
did
really
that.
Yes, you did. Her name is
She did
Mila.
that.
She gets money.
Shout out to Victorious on the visual. It was super
Really,
excellent.
really dope. Yeah, really, really dope. So
dope song about gentrification in Brooklyn and
Yes,
it caught
yes.
the mood. It was really
you look
dope.
so pretty, Mila.
Oh, stop it! You make me blush.
I want to send a congrats to Six for getting his wallet back. He got his wallet back.
Wallet.
Yes,
Guys,
yes,
wallet.
it's back.
Can you tell him a brief story about how the envelope containing your wallet
So
came
the
back?
wallet comes back. We mentioned
The wallet
it
that
last
you
He
was
week.
lost his wallet out
going
in
from
Queens.
precinct to precinct looking for.
Yes, we spoke about this
So
last
it
week. guys.
arrives now. When they mail it with my driver's license on the outside,
Affixed on the front.
taped to the front, and you can tell there's a wallet in it. And the wallet is somebody decided to rip the wallet. There's a rip on the other side, just the size of the wallet to slip it
Like
out.
a slot.
And but it was tape over it. So I open it up. I see the rip, so I know what this is. I'm
That
like,
is so
"Oh,
funny."
Open it up. Everything I see, the IDs is there. Then I said, let me look in the billfold.
All the money gone.
Gone.
You're dead. Well, you lucky
There's
you
probably somebody from the post office. My post office.
But why
Shady
didn't
McGrady.
just take the money?
They did take the money.
No, but I mean, like, why you have to cut the wallet open to take the money?
If they wouldn't have done that, then they would have taken the whole wallet.
They
See,
cut the
we-
letter open, took the reach into the letter, took the money out, put it back, and then put tape over where they cut it, and just continued in transit.
Bruh.
At least you didn't.
That's the post office 100%.
Yo, my post
Yeah.
office is good for stealing. What's the 11221
Oh,
on
roachy little
Broadway?
bastards. Yeah, bro. Up on
That don't make no damn sense.
what you call it? I know.
By Gates and Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're notorious thieves.
Ooh,
Who
the
shot ya?
worst. What's like the anti shout out? What do you say?
I want to say all the post office ain't bad.
Well, just that one
Alright.
that we can really because
Not all post
is
offices.
You got some good.
You got some good people out there?
Some good people out there.
Yeah.
Well,
some good
definitely the
ones.
person that was good was that lady that got in contact with him, even though she didn't speak to him, and did what she said she was going to do. She said, "I'm
Thank
going to
you
bring it
for-
to the
thank
post
you,
office
whoever you are.
or the precinct." So whoever you are, I sprinkle you with God's blessings.
Shout out to the post office workers.
Except for the one that stole his $40, but that's a whole different story. I just got to mention, ever since that Mayweather Pacquiao fight, that whole thing when they flashed on him and he had his teeth
The
was in
Denzel
straight
memes.
overbite. Yo, the Denzel memes are bananas. Have you seen them, King? No. King, I gotta send you some. King, it's absolutely ridiculous. They got him looking like a sleazeball. They got him looking like an Asian. Talking about, do you want hot sauce with your fried rice?
My favorite is the one of the most recent
church?
ones. No.
Oh.
It's with Beyonce and Nicki Minaj eating the burger. You seen that?
I didn't see that one, but I saw the video.
So there's a screenshot of them in the video who like linking arms eating the big burgers. You seen that part of the video, right?
Yes, I did.
So then they got Denzel leaning in like, how's that burger taste, huh? Y'all looking good. You look just like your mother did 25 years ago. Let me stop.
No, but the funny one was the one with the church, man.
Take your time, brother.
Take your time, brother. They had him in a wig with his church gown on, the choir gown. But it was like, this is the look when they tell you to hold on, take your time, brother.
Okay, so my absolute favorite ones are the ones where they combine the Denzel meme with the Michael Jordan cry face meme. Have you seen that?
Wait, I think they may have done that one in that.
So how about?
God,
okay, so this is the game 6. I need you to see this one. You watch basketball, right?
No,
he
Okay, you don't. Do you watch basketball?
I do, but
Okay.
6 be fronting.
How funny is that? James Harden and Little B.
Wow.
That's the funny one.
Can
to
you put
me.
this in the camera without dropping it?
It's too many internet jokes all combined
I'm
in
gonna
one
post them on my
image.
page. Mila, we gotta put them on Roxanne.
Yeah, we're gonna
page.
post it for you guys.
This is
but
so
that's
funny.
Because it's the Michael Jordan joke, it's the Little B curse, it's the James Harden, it's the Denzel. It's
Turn down for what? Turn
many
down for
internet
what? Well, we've got to get on to the next portion of the show. It's Roxanne's rant. During this segment, I like to let off a little bit of steam and vent a little bit. My friends are tired of me. Hopefully, King Gilmore can help me out because they told me to stop calling them. Mila, she be on her songstress shit. She ain't got time. 6 be like, yo, I'm just on some shit. Stop calling me. Stop calling me. So, I need an outlet, and, this is my outlet. I have a real problem with some women posting on Facebook and referring to their boy children as king. I have 3 sons, and I would never refer to them as king because I feel you got to be a prince before you become a king.
Absolutely.
What's up with that? So I'm like, a lot of these chicks, it seems like they're using their boy children as substitutes for men, for boyfriends. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
It's the same thing as when they make their children their Man Crush Mondays. You ever seen that?
Mila, don't let me effing vomit. What?
You never seen that?
I have never seen that shit.
This is my Man Crush Monday every Monday.
Bitch, you pedophile.
This is the only man I need, etc., etc.
But you know what though? I think they do that because these women always want to be princess. I'm a princess. I'm a queen.
Right.
So it's like by making their son king, it makes them the queen.
But you know what I mean? It's a lot of women who really do end up relying too heavily upon their sons, and then when those men grow up, they become those mama's boys who the mother never approves of the girlfriend. It always ends up being a war between the mother and the woman, and then the man
and any potential boyfriend, or husband,
and you ruining that man for the future.
But
go ahead, Sex.
But the issue that I find that a lot of people just get silly is like everybody wants to be like a king, a prince, a queen, a princess. And it's because of this idea that royal people just sit around all day and live the good life, and I'm this and I'm powerful and what they don't really understand is that it takes a lot of work. A real royal person's life is not spent laying around ordering people to feed them grapes and shit like that. You have to learn, you have to study, you have to learn economics, you need to learn
how to fight wars.
Most kings were soldiers. They go into the military when they turn 18.
When they're 18, back in the days when you were 11, you were a lieutenant. It's like, so if you want, that's cool if that's what you want for your kids, but if that's what you want, act like you want it and raise your kids accordingly.
And go all the way. Don't just be freaking giving titles. And my thing is, once you start telling the king that a little boy that he's a king at like birth and keep on embedding that,
then he turned into King Joffrey.
Okay, listen, and start beating up the whole house and shit, thinking that he on his king
well,
shit.
then you have the black people be like, because we come from kings and queens, and
we
you's a king. Guess what? There was peasants who was working the farms too.
Everybody was a king.
May not have been King Joffrey. Your ancestor might have been.
Everybody was a king across the board.
Scrubbing the royal penis. Know what I mean?
It's just such a ridiculous concept. I get like saying, we had kingdoms and kings and queens. Not everybody was a guy. Who made the scepter? Who was the Joker? Who was the king's chef?
Right.
Basically.
Who was the cobbler? Everybody had shoes.
Who wiped Prince Akeem's ass?
Not even just that. Who was the king?
That too.
Well, But like, there's just so many other jobs. There's so many jobs. There's so many jobs.
That's like when people go to get their past life regression done, and it's like everybody in your past life, you were a king, you were a ruler. Nobody was ever like a peasant who died like in a fire when the farm,
Who was
burnt down.
a farmer?
No, there were none. The king, he was doing that bullshit.
Who was the real estate agent?
Let's tell real estate. Who was the cow herder? You know what I'm saying?
I tell my son all the time, you're a scholar and a gentleman. That's it.
Ram.
That's the least you. That's the least.
Yeah.
Everything else comes from
That's
there.
something I think we should focus more on, teaching our kids, our sons especially,
Yeah.
how to be men first.
Thank you.
Right.
Before you start adapting royalty, dude.
And right, because it's not exactly the same thing. You got to be a man before you can be a king. But you got to be a
Period.
man first.
Period. I couldn't have said that any better. Now on to Ask Roxy. Usually people write in, and I'm sorry, Six will. Let me just do the spiel. During this segment of the show, Six or Mila will read a question written by one of our listeners, and I or us will offer some advice. For all advice questions, please email me at info@roxanne.rocks. And remember, do as I say, not as I do. Who got this? Mila, you want this? You want Six to do?
it
Oh,
comes
it's a
from
male. It's a male.
Oh, it's a male? Okay,
It's a male.
you're
It comes from my mail, so
Finally, go ahead.
I think you're gonna like this one, Mila.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. After a decade in a tough marriage, I'm a recently divorced man. When we separated, my ex and I agreed that we would see other people, and I dated several women casually. Over time, one of those became more serious to the point that we have been dating for almost a year now and are essentially exclusive. A second marriage is out of the question. I want to focus on my young kids and prefer to separate my kid time, which I love, from my adult dating time, which is also great.
Okay.
I envision that for the rest of my life, there may be a series of girlfriends. My dilemma is I really like the person I'm dating, but recently met someone else who interests me. I don't want to break off a good relationship to go on a date with a new person only to find out we don't have much in common because I plan to be seriously monogamous indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
I don't
What kind of bullshit
get
is that?
Okay, but I need to figure it.
Indefinitely.
I need to figure this out now. How do I try out a new relationship while gently easing out of my old one without crossing cheating boundaries or maligning my good name?
Ram. Thank you for writing in, and I finally found a man to write in. Guys, please don't be discouraged. I know this is a woman's world, I get it, but don't mind, don't just feel free to write in. Well, you have been dating this fine young lady for about a year now, and now you want to to take someone else out on a date who interests you. I need to know more information regarding the conversation you and that lady friend had prior to. Did you tell her that you would be exclusively dating her? If you did, then you have to man up and let her know that you have interest elsewhere. You can be sneaky about it and go out on a date with the new lady and test the waters a bit if you want to. But on the other hand, if you stated that you will be dating, sporadically, then you don't necessarily have to make mention of your interests. You can be courteous if you like to be, but you already laid the rules down from the very beginning. But I do want to say, once you come out of a marriage, to be dating, exclusively, one person or whatever the case may be, I think that's something that you should take time doing. But I, again, need to stress, what were the things that you said to that person prior to? Because now all of a sudden you see somebody else that might be interesting, but it seems like you want to put that chick on hold, the one that you've been dating for 1 year. So you can see if this other girl is all right with you, and then what if she's all right? What you going to do, curve her? You're doing everything, and I also might want to ask, why did you and your wife break up? Did she have somebody on the side? Did she get with you to see if homeboy would ever come back from whatever his road trip? You know what I'm saying? And then once he came back, did she curve you? So there's a lot of dynamics that play in this, but I just say from Jump Street, you need to just be 1,000% honest. Mila, go. Ram.
I think we basically saying this I think we're saying
You
the same
say
thing.
it's sexier than me. Don't play with me.
Okay, well, I want to say, first of all, I commend, and I know Six is looking at me like, what's Mila going to say? I think you're going to like what I have to say. First of all, I commend you because you sound like a good man. You sound like a person who, has your head on straight. I know divorce is a very traumatic thing.
It is. For some.
And like,
it wasn't for me.
Not
But
for me.
I was good. Go ahead.
okay, divorce can be a traumatic thing. Not only emotionally, but your lifestyle, your finances, your, et cetera.
Okay,
et cetera.
what's traumatic?
Whole lot of things. And,
I can't too.
and so kudos to you for even having the presence of mind to know that what you don't want for yourself while you have children raised and et cetera, is, to try to get into another marriage because that's not a thing that a lot of men think about, especially men because men seem to just be able to just go and get married, and
go on with life,
and then the last family is the last family, et cetera. So kudos to you,
unfortunately,
for that, 100%. What I would say was I think you need to push that, selflessness forward just a little bit more, because if you know that you're not trying to ever settle down and get married, you need to go into every relationship with that mindset and keep and continue to, because you could say something at the beginning of a relationship and then your habits and the things that you do
start
and
to rear its ugly head,
and no, not, I wouldn't say rear its ugly head, because things change in your emotions. You go with your emotions,
right?
So what happens is you end up saying the thing and you want to hold the person to the thing you said at the beginning, even though all your actions are not doing that, and that's emotionally dishonest. So don't be like, well, I said such and such when we first started dating, but now you laying up every day and they met your parents.
Like, dude, really?
Kids are, going to the, y'all and living together and this and that.
And
then you want to be like, but
change.
I first said such and such. You gotta continue to be emotionally honest with yourself and with those people.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Don't concur.
Just be consistent and like you said, focus on your kids. It's an important thing we say to women all the time. It's women with kids, you divorce, take your time. Get yourself together. Focus on your kids. Focus on your mental and emotional health. And it's okay to date. You just gotta keep it real. I
know a lot of guys who do that too. They're like, oh nah, they'll tell a girl straight up from the beginning, nah, I'm not trying to be serious. But then like they want to be over there every night.
Every single day.
They got a toothbrush over there.
The moment you tell me you don't want to be serious,
you doing?
Yeah,
they told you at the beginning. Yada.
And then you want to be looking at her
It's emotional dishonesty.
Right.
And they want you to hold to the word that they said at the beginning, but they treating you differently. That's the thing.
And that's how things get twisted. This part of the show I have coined as.
But can I say add one last thing?
Certainly.
Also, for the listener, for the guy who wrote in, you got to also remember he has to respect the feelings of the young lady he's been dating for a year. Be very respectful to her feelings, because at the end of the day, you might or may not have purposely or not, let her to feel a certain way.
Right.
Just respect her feelings in everything you do.
Gotcha.
Word.
Well said.
Yay, 6. Look, we're all on the same page.
Yes, finally.
Hug it out.
Now, listen, big hug, cyber hug. This portion of the show I have coined as Roxanity.
Excuse me. At what point are you going to get it together?
I'm sorry, because my drink wasn't too strong. That's what the problem was. Okay, this portion of the show I have coined as Roxanity. Can we hear some music?
Yeah, it's about to drop.
I need something to.
One more time.
Okay. This portion of the show I have coined as Roxanity. Thank you. During this segment, I like to talk about things that I have found most interesting. Can I have more ice too? I do not discriminate, so some of the topics can occur anywhere around the world. I am worldly. 6, do you want to do the Real?
No, thank you.
Real. Oh, wait, sidebar. My son, I had a Superman birthday party at his school, and what he did was take a photograph with his classmates, and I made all the girls say Real. And this young girl, Chad was totally embarrassed. This young girl, his classmate, put her hand around him and was like, don't worry, my mother embarrasses me too. Real. But anyway, I'm worldly, y'all.
Girls.
I know. You can also catch all of Roxanity topics in its entirety on my Facebook page, Roxanne. Well, y'all, in Las Vegas, a California man named Titus McDonald's hired 2 prostitutes to join him in his hotel room. He collapsed when he realized the 2 hookers happened to be his daughters. Titus traveled to Las Vegas because he needed to get his mentals back in order. He has 10 children and he needed to blow off a little bit of steam. Titus claimed he never got a prostitute a day in life and practically collapsed when his 2 daughters arrived, making that booty clap. I kid, but they could have been. The daughters, who hadn't seen their dad in years, realized it was him, then stormed out of the room. McDonald has since apologized to his daughters, aged 20 and 23, for the grief he caused them as children. He said he used to beat them repeatedly because he wanted them to excel in ballet, but they were just not interested. He said this was God's way of bitch slapping him. He also said that from now on he will just love and support them. I'm in love with a stripper. 6, you in love with a stripper?
This happened to all of us.
Huh?
This happened to all of us.
Really?
Your daughter was in the room?
Oh, hell no.
You mean you've been in love with a stripper? Please, let's clarify.
Clear in the air!
Oh, right.
Please clarify which of those circumstances.
The love with the stripper, but nah, I feel bad for that dude, but
Yo, that's crazy.
You know why I don't
but-
feel bad?
Why?
Because sometimes you just need a message from the Lord. Sometimes the universe is like, hey, check this out.
He said God bitch slapped him.
Hey, so listen.
Imagine how it's
Yeah.
one thing.
God's trying to tell you
To-
something, bro.
Yeah, the Lord's trying to tell you something. Yep.
You failed, as a parent, you're like, I haven't seen my daughters in years. I don't know what they're doing.
10 kids.
It's one thing to find out that they're out on the pole. You're like, damn, how my daughter end up on the
But
pole?
they on the whole stroll.
But they on the stroll, not they
They on the
pole to
strip.
stroll.
And the irony of him pushing them to be dancers, and then they ended up.
Yeah, they couldn't get ballet, but
They were able to still
They
make
got
that
Magic City.
They were able to twerk.
That's God on the main line. Jesus is on the
Yo,
main
Mila,
line.
I didn't even
with
think
that
about
one.
it like that. Ouch. I would like to state a fact prior to going into this story. 1/3 of the food worldwide is thrown away every year. France just passed new legislation banning stores. Oh, my lip touched the mic. Banning stores from purposely ruining food. Many supermarkets and eateries actually douse foods with bleach prior to discarding unwanted foods, which is such a bad thing to me. France's National Assembly unanimously passed a measure requiring all supermarkets 400 square feet or larger to donate unsold food to charity for animal feed or for farm compost. Compost? How do you say that word? Compost. Thank you. If any market refused to follow this new guideline, they will face up to $75,000 in fines or 2 years in jail. It is said that the United States is the absolute worst when it comes to wasting food. And I know that for a damn fact.
Yeah, me too.
Fairway, Whole Foods, they make large buffets every single day, and they don't even give the leftover foods at
I was just talking about this on my Facebook page, and
That pisses
because I
me
asked
off
them
badly.
There's so much food, and they will charge you $20 a pound for that salmon,
For that bullshit ass
glazed
food.
salmon, and then at the end of the night,
Those
it
roasted
goes into the
vegetables,
trash.
it goes
and you
right in
ask
the
them
trash.
why don't they give it away to food?
And they say because they don't want the liability of someone getting sick and then potentially getting sued.
Right.
But that shit is jacked up because at least
It's
give it
such
to
a
your
humongous-
give it to your employees.
at least give it to your
Give it to your
Let them take it home
employees.
to their kids.
We had a chat with someone in Fairway one day. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And homeboy was like, well, because I'm like, what the hell y'all gonna do with all this food? It's like 10 o'clock and y'all cleaning up. He was like, yo, we gotta trash it. And if we were to ever get caught leaving out with this food, we could get possibly terminated. What's up with that?
wow.
What's up with that? Dude can't feed his. I can't eat. Fuck a family.
You gotta
Right, they
I
already make you
Whole
minimum
Foods ain't
wage,
for
and
the
then you
kids,
can't even
like-
take some food home.
Can we bring that home?
Crazy.
Y'all just throw that
I
shit
didn't
in
know
the trash?
they would get fired for taking a
He
food
said
home.
and he was like, and
That's theft.
he was like, yo, and there's cameras in here. If we cameras right here and cameras in the back. If we were to ever get caught, we could lose our job.
Wow.
So, and then they're dousing. No, but okay, worse. Dousing food with bleach. So not only are you discarding it, you're dousing it with bleach. Like
So that
to me, that's a
nobody
highway
can-
to
yeah, so
hell.
nobody
I'm
Like
can
you
sorry.
can't
have it.
even go in the garbage and
Yeah.
get
And,
it.
and rummage. You cannot do that. Well, I must give a big shout out to Trader Joe's over there by Taj.
Roxy, back up a little.
There were many a times. When I was leaving the club, and those fruits saved me. They had crates upon crates with grapes and sliced cantaloupe and watermelon.
Hey.
And call me a rummager if you want, because I made sure I picked the best litter.
I just saw. I posted an article on my Facebook
Real.
a couple of days ago about a lady from. It's interesting, actually. It was from France who lives in Brooklyn now, and they said she spends about $5,000 a year now because of her habits of rummaging, dumpster diving, as they call it.
She spends
And
what?
She basically she's like an elite like squatter and dumpster diver,
Wow.
and so she ends up only spending like $5,000 a year to like live. Like she was basically
Shit.
living on the land, but on some urban
Wow.
shit. That's pretty hardcore. That's extreme.
That means a rat. When you say on that
Oh,
urban,
God.
urban and suburban, there's rats everywhere. You might find a chipmunk like we almost. Oh my God, I saw a deer yesterday, but that's a whole different story. Driving out to Jersey.
And-
Shout out Greg for having us over by your home yesterday. Really,
We
really
look so
nice.
cute in this photo.
Do we not?
We look
We
absolutely
look like
adorable.
Get Fest. We are, but you're
We're
my baby mama.
totes.
We tighter than that.
Totes.
We're joined at the hip.
Totes.
Ram. A Maryland woman who happens to be smiling in her mugshot did the most unthinkable thing one could ever imagine. Sarah P. Schrock served her 2 guests milk around dinner time. And no, serving one milk during dinner time is not the issue unless it contains dead skin shavings from your feet. Sarah put dead skin shavings into the milk of her 2 guests when one of them began choking and coughed up remnants. One victim strained their milk to find the dead skin then in their milk and then contacted police. The woman is said to have diabetes, and investigators found trays of dead foot scalings in her room. Sarah was questioned but denied any wrongdoing. She was charged with 2nd-degree assault for contaminating food. Yo, you must be some real serious kind of sick. First of all, can I just mention this? I know someone who saves their scabs. I'd like to refer to her as Itchy and Scratchy. That's my nickname for her. She's actually a dope fiend, and when she does the skin popping or whatever that the dope fiends like to do and shit, she gets scaly because it fucks up your skin and it messes with your whole body chemistry. And whenever she gets those scabs from those injection point of entry, she saves it in an envelope.
Why?
Yo, that's
Dinner.
all right.
For what?
Late night snack.
Move.
Look, late night snack.
That's crazy.
All right, well, I got a question about the story, though, about the lady with the foot shavings. What did they do to her? I need to hear.
You sound like sick.
Gotta hear both sides.
No,
bruh.
hold up. Sick, you ain't hanging
Gotta hear
around with my
both
baby
sides.
mother no more because you started to
That's
influence
my
her.
always thing. You never know.
Gotta hear both
You gotta know.
sides, yo. Because
Yo.
people be playing innocent. I don't know what they did to her.
That
She
is so
didn't
true.
tell.
Let me tell you one thing. If I'm doing you dirty, guess what I'm not doing? First of all, it's having dinner by your home.
Well, yeah.
Should I tell them the story about
But
my
see, because
twin
I'm
brother?
like that, because I'm always the one who gets caught up. You know, okay, I'll make it quick, 6. I see you,
You
giving
see?
the finger.
Boy,
But I'm always the
you
one.
want some dead foot shavings?
I feel like
I'm just
50
kidding.
Cent. Like, people always
Cause and effect.
people
Ninja.
always hear see the punch, but they don't hear the slap. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Good one.
people always
Yeah.
come in for me, and then when I react, then I'm the bad guy.
Eddie, are you okay?
Don't
Are you
make
okay?
me do it to you, dummy.
Eddie, are you okay?
Do it. Like there's rules to
Cause and
this.
effect. Listen, sidebar. That's the same thing I said when I had a little spat at my office. Y'all always just know Roxanne for freaking spazzing out and coming out all crazy. But I told you I be chilling. But if you come for me, the ugly beast rears its ugly
That's
head.
all. And then you looking at me like I'm
And
crazy.
it's
You
cause and
caused
effect.
this. You
It's
did
cause and
this.
effect. Think about what you did. Retract. You know what I'm saying? Reflect, rather. Don't fuck with. Okay. Yeah. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Shit.
Round and round they go.
You are now listening to Roxanne's Roundtable, a little R&R. Today's topic is Jailbird or Phoenix. I want to again welcome King Gilmore for joining us. Before exiting the jail system, many learn about recidivism. Recidivism is the act of a person repeating an undesirable behavior, or for former prisoners being rearrested for similar crimes. I do not want to focus on people learning how to repeat crime, but I want to focus on people who have done their time and come home to do bigger and better things with their lives. Right here, we got King Gilmore. Please reintroduce yourself and tell our listeners and viewers your story.
Hey, how's everybody doing
Yeah,
out there?
get it, Gilmore.
I want to say,
Yes.
everybody have a good time this weekend. Be safe.
Yeah.
Drive safely and spend good time with your families.
Yes.
Point checks.
Everybody know me as King Gilmore, but Vaughn Gilmore is my name, aka Shorty King. I'm from Brooklyn. I did a little time, and I'm out here and I'm doing the right thing. I served 27 and a half years in prison. I've been home 5 years now.
Wow.
My transition has been quite interesting.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say this to a lot of brothers that's on their way home to follow in my footsteps, that your dreams and your ideas that you have while you're in there, they're great. Don't give them up. But it's a reality check. When you come out here, a lot of those dreams and those desires are not going to be the way you see them or put them together while you're in there.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a struggle, and you got to get focused to say, you know what, I'm obligated to do the right thing to not come back inside.
With that said, family support.
Yeah,
How big is that?
Well, you know what? A lot of people don't have family support.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to be able to come home and have, a wife or your family, your sisters and brothers, your siblings, somebody to help you to make that transition a little bit easier. Then there's some guys who don't have nobody, and then there's guys that have people and want to just, make it happen on their own without any crutches. So
and then there's guys who come out and have somebody, and they want to go have outside babies on their women.
That's not her story, though. That's not her story.
For 5 years and shit.
That's not her story.
Sorry.
Why you see tight, Mila?
Because
we know people.
Not me myself personally, but I'm going through.
Somebody had to cry on your shoulder. How did you avoid recidivism? You've heard of that term, right?
Yeah, recidivism. Yeah. Well, basically, you just have to be focused and say, while you in there, well, let me say this here. While you in there, to make sure that you don't come back, you have to have a form of suffering. A lot of guys don't suffer while they in there, so they come back.
What do you mean?
27 years.
Well, let me say this. Y'all know,
5 months.
Everybody knows somebody that was in jail, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you ever see pictures of people when they send y'all pictures?
How they be posted up?
Yeah,
Six was doing the jailhouse post last week.
I mean, brothers, they got Jordans, they got gold chains, they got all that. That's not a sign of suffering. I mean, they may have other sufferings. Like for myself, I didn't suffer until after maybe 20 years out of 27.
27 years, King Gilmore?
When you say suffer, because because to me,
no commissary.
Having to be like taken away from like the outside world and
like
taken away, that seems to be suffering enough. So when you say suffering, can you just make that clear?
I'm going to make it clear. My suffering, I can't speak about nobody else's. My suffering was when I realized that the people that I hurt, that loved me, that was dear to me, that supported me throughout my incarceration. My children, I went to jail. My children was kids. They were babies. I came home. They were grown and adult children with children.
Right.
So I missed their graduations. I miss seeing my children born. One of my daughters. So that kind of thing was a suffering. My nieces and nephews were born without me. So when I started thinking about that. That changed my life. It changed my perspective on me saying, you know what, enough is enough. I'm done with the streets.
And you know what's crazy? My dad went to jail when I was 2.5 years old. He didn't come home until I had 3 kids.
Wow.
How about those apples? Yeah, but he got deported back to Jamaica. I mean, okay, that's a whole different story.
So those kind of things have an effect on a real person, a real man.
But he did help me with those college papers. He helped me get out of college. So
that's a great
thing. Those classes that I didn't like, and I was like, yo, Dad, you owe me. Write this shit.
Shout out to Dad.
I get funky with it. Yo, how easy was it for you to seek employment once you came home? Well, actually, before I even asked that question. Okay, answer that question. I'll go into the other one. How easy was it?
It wasn't easy. And it's not going to be easy for us brothers coming home, with a record trying to get a job. What you got to do while you in there, that's where it starts. You have to prepare yourself before you get out here. If you say,
in what ways do you prepare?
I'm going to explain you. Let's say hypothetically, I say, you know what, I want to be a homeowner. Well, I can't sit in there twiddling my thumbs saying, when I get some money, I'm going to get a job, I'm on a home. There's more to it than that. So the best thing to do is prepare yourself then. Learn about filing taxes. Learn about mortgage rates. These are things that you can learn while you're in there by reading newspapers, going to the library, ordering books. You prepare yourself.
Right.
So, and I did a lot of those things, while I was in there. I prepared myself because I knew when I got out here, I had to do the right thing.
Yes.
And I know I needed to be focused and educate myself. So those are the main things. Like, I said I want to drive legally.
Gotcha. We get it.
So I had to study, I had to study for my permit. I got the book. I wrote the DMV, got the book, and I got myself together. So
while you get that?
While I was in there.
Did you approach any sort of like job programs for felons and like NYC or anything like that?
Definitely.
Well, one of the shout out to Osborne Association. I went to them. I dealt with them while I was in there. So when I got out, I took their program.
So there are programs in the prisons that kind of help and
help
hold your hand through the
Absolutely. Shout out to
transition.
Fortune Society. Yeah, there's a lot of programs out there.
Oh,
Cases.
okay.
Shout out to Cases.
So there's programs out there for transitioning.
Absolutely, absolutely. And most of those programs are ran by former inmates.
Gotcha.
nice,
See,
nice.
that's what makes it dope. Let me tell you, when my dad was incarcerated, he was able to obtain his PhD. Was it PhD? I think he had
They get master's degrees.
mad degrees. He got a bunch of a whole onslaught of degrees. But are things still the same
Yeah,
currently?
because
About what?
Jada
About
Kiss
In
said
terms
that
of education and
Jada Kiss
other
said
things?
you can't get your degree in
Nah,
jail no
nah.
more.
Who said that? Jada
Nah.
Kiss?
Jada Kiss in the song.
Nah, but them dudes, you know, Jada, that's
They
my
don't
man.
know.
That's my man. Lock, shout out. But
Shout out.
at the same time, there is still education going on. You can get your BA, you can get your associate degree, and you can get up to a master's degree.
Oh wow.
The master's is limited into theology. You get a master's degree in theology.
My father
Oh,
has that
wow.
in theology.
So you
But
can't
he
do the
didn't
right
come
thing.
home and being a preacher.
Well,
But that's crazy. Why would they limit your master's to theology?
I
because
couldn't understand. Yeah.
financial. Because that.
So you can't be a scientist or a biologist or a pathologist.
But
or a
you'd be
doctor.
surprised. You'd be surprised that the power of that certificate.
No, I'm clear.
Right.
I'm just interested in why it would be that particular concentration. Because that seems like a thing. I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to me.
What?
A weird church and
Theology?
state
Yeah,
kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It is peculiar.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I know a lot of
Oh.
brothers that was in the master's program because of the master's program. I know a lot of brothers, and they shared a lot that they learned with me, and the concept, like you just saying, you're blinded by saying, all right, the religion. This it's not about the religion. They
Okay.
tell you, in fact, they tell you when you first get into the class to forget everything you learned about religion.
Okay.
Wow, that's almost like the Army Six.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they
That's
want to
what's
give
up.
you the real deal.
And you know, and a master's is a master's. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you take advantage of any of that schooling?
Mostly, I took some college. Yes, I never completed. I did a lot of extracurricular programs. In fact, I'm one of the pioneers of a program that started in 1996. It's
Don't
called-
play with me.
Yeah, it's called Rehabilitation Through the Arts. You look at it online. We online. We on the Facebook. we
Okay,
online.
we got to share that on our page. as well.
Rehabilitation Through the Art is a theater program. It's a theater-based program, and it teaches brothers how to circumvent your inner pain, your inner sufferings.
Like in writing form
Right.
of poetry, perhaps, or
Acting, theater, dance. They have a
Gotcha.
dance program. So
That's
it started out
beautiful.
as a one play, and it took off. It spearheaded into it's like in 5 different facilities. It's even in Bedford Hills for the females.
wow, Betty's house.
So, yeah,
Don't
so
ask
it's
me
a
how I
good
know that
program.
nickname.
So
Look
shout
at
out to
Billy's eyes.
shout out to Rehabilitation Through the Art,
Real.
Catherine Watkins.
Gotcha. What were some of the questions that were asked prior to you being employed? Do you want to say what you do?
Yeah, I'm formerly I work for a company called Premier Paralegal. Shout out to Sandler Francois.
What up, Sandler?
Yeah, that's my boy. Well, it was ironic that I went to him. Y'all were speaking about divorces. I went to him for a divorce,
Oh shit.
and I told him I gave him my story. I seen he was a brother that had some kind of vision, and he looked like he was willing to help. So I said, listen, I need a job. I'll sweep floors, I'll answer phones, whatever. And that was in 2010, 2015. I'm still working for him.
Wow.
In fact, I even run the office when he's out of his presence.
See?
So
That's
I'm
a
So
blessing.
that's 5 years or so?
5 years.
Wow. And listen, can I say our relationship? Well,
Sure.
I'm not going to say what I'm in there for. That's none of your business. But yeah, King, this is who I usually meet with when I'm in the Sandler's office, and we'll share the information a little bit later. And he's really, really knowledgeable, and that's super important to me when you go into an establishment that they know what the hell they're talking about, because I will leave instantly. Let me ask you, do you know any people who might have had similar experiences similar to yours? Do you know anyone that probably just came home? Because it seemed like I'm 25 and my son said I'm 26 because I did go up a year. A lot of the OG dudes are now coming home.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? Do you know any of these people that are home now and are experiencing the things that you once experienced once you came home from jail? Like they're looking for employment.
Yeah, I know. It's a few brothers. So many to remember as far as names. I'm not really good with.
Shout out
names.
Rennie.
Yeah, but shout out to Rennie. There's a lot of brothers. Knowledge, shout out to Knowledge Neils. There's a few brothers that's coming out.
What is your advice to them? Like, what are you saying? Because you know what, a lot of people come up to me. Well, one thing let me just add this. My dad, he's so lucky he got deported because you know, our family is pretty well off out there. They got their mango trees, their coconut trees. They eat off the land. Like seriously, you don't really got to go outside and go shopping and stuff like that. You eat off the land. The beach is right across the street. People go fishing. You get fresh fish. Chickens, goats, whatever, they cool. But when people come home here, there's times when people look at me like, yo, Roxanne, I know you know something. I know you got the hookup, and I'm like, shit, I'm trying to hook myself up right now. Like, what information do you offer them in terms of employment?
Well, the first thing you got to do, you got to find out what it is that you're good at.
Right.
We all know that God gives everybody a gift.
Right.
So you got to find out what your niche is. Like, what is it that I can do better than everybody else? And once you find that, then you got to focus on that and say, you know what? I tried construction. I'm a little dude. I ain't trying to lift no bricks and all that. I lasted 1 week. That wasn't me. The money was good. The money was good and everything.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I said, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to my homeboy teacher. We went to Sheepshead Bay High School. A lot of people that went to Sheepshead, I only lasted 2 years in that school, but that's a whole different story. And he ended up managing Pitbull. Pitbull be singing with J-Lo and has done so many great things out there in Florida. He's doing his thing. Chef Teach, he was always big in culinary. And he's got his own, it's called, oh gosh, GG. I'll put the information up later. I can't remember the actual
I probably
name
know
of
him. He probably worked in the mess hall with me.
You never know. He did a few years, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that it's certainly possible for people to actually come home and do their thing because right now, of course, he managed Pitbull and now he's got his own Mac truck out in food truck out in Miami. So people, it's totally, people are totally capable. But it seems like people have to either go into entrepreneurship or construction.
But you know what's the funny thing is, and not to say, you know, like it's not easy, and you do lose a lot of your time. But the fact of the matter is, and I think the three of us might have been talking about it earlier this week, but like entrepreneurship is the key anyway. You know what I mean?
Period.
Not being a cog in the wheel and making your own way is the key anyway. And so I kind of feel like the necessity to have to do that.
But
you know,
for somebody coming from home from
no, right? So you don't have the school, you don't have the tools.
You don't have the tools because a lot of guys, they may have the ultimate business plan. They may have the perfect location.
So they just need the network and the you know.
You need money.
And the money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Money.
I read an article about a dude out, you know, in Vegas. And he was like, he said that in the prison system, you have some of the greatest entrepreneurs you'll ever find because you have time to sit there and work out your plan, to read and figure everything out, you know, line by line. He says, but then when you get out of there, it's getting the resources, it's getting people who's actually going to mess with you. Even you can know people with money and they still don't want to mess with you because they think, like, what do you know? You've been locked up. I've been out here in these streets. You don't know what's up.
Right.
But this dude, he ended up making his money because he saw like all the holes in the communication system in jail. So he was just like, yo, the phone system is messed up, the mail system, everything. So he started to fix, you know, the problems and get contracts with the jails to, you know, do things the way, make them run smoother. And now his thing is he invests in other you know, guys when they come out.
5 Links.
You know.
What about 5 Links?
What, 5 Links?
5 Links. Our first guest that was on, was it Larod?
Oh, Larod, yeah.
He did something like that where he focused on
the mail system.
The mail system, like a FedEx, UPS, and definitely I believe it derived from the whole sending packages to jail. I know some people that have catalogs for commissary because inmates often complain about.
Shout out to Mainline.
That's whose catalog you used to rock with?
Nah, Mainline is a brother, my man Will, and shout out to Will. He started a catalog. Tapes.
Was he a former?
Mainline. Yeah, they trying to shut him down because he was the ex-offender, but he's doing his thing.
Give me a lot of ice.
But so that's the main thing. It's just the resources. It's like I said, a wise person would know like the talent is there.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout because my very first job, and I've never been you know, in prison or anything, or you know, in jail or anything like that. But my first job out of high school was a black-owned and operated Wall Street firm. And shout out to my boss. So you could turn on Fox News right now. We obviously have very different politics, but very successful black man on on Wall Street, who would take people like me,
Right.
girl straight out of high school, and then the boys like me too, maybe at risk sort of young men who are intelligent and enterprising and hustling, because everybody knows it's not no punk to be out in the streets selling drugs or doing whatever. It's not, you're not no punk, you're not no dummy, and he would find those people and bring them in to be salesmen in his company.
See,
and so
you cannot.
You know how they say the rap game remind me of the crack game. It's like, you got these hustling dudes. All you got to do is put on a suit, teach them the game, put them on the phone.
Idea. Look at
that
Jay-Z.
Same hustling spirit.
I thought he
now
got
these young
up.
men is legal, making six figures. You know what I'm saying? And he had the eye for the people who had that spark, who had that intelligence. And it ain't a lot of men like that. You know what I mean?
That takes talent.
You'll see him on Fox News, and I don't agree with Fox News all day long, but I will say that he was the man for finding me and a bunch of other people who I came up with who were former gangbangers, some of them even, you know what I mean, and taking them being like, nah, this is the hustle,
almost
the
like
stock market.
Clarence 13X.
I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know if those people want to be,
you
whatever,
gotta put them out there, but almost no similar to Clarence 13X, how he found people that were on the street and recruited them to the 5% Nation. But what are some of the things, like, are there any programs that you'd like to name that you may have seen after you left prison that actually helped you acclimate?
Yeah, Com Alert. Shout out to Com Alert.
Com Alert?
Yeah,
Can you spell it out, please?
It's COM.
ALERT?
Yeah, Com Alert. It's a program that helps dudes coming home, make the transition, helping with getting their GED and getting, that type of training, therapeutic training, stuff like that. They also, I want to shout out to Alliance. What is it? I took a computer class there. They offer a lot. It's called St. Nick's Alliance.
I swear, I feel like I was taking a
St. Nick's Alliance. It's a good spot. It's on. I don't want to give up.
Is it in Manhattan?
It's in Brooklyn.
I can ask you. It's from like my cousin, right? I have a little cousin. He'll be coming out in a minute. He'll be 27. He's been in from 17 to 20. He'll get out for maybe like a few months.
Recidivism.
And he's like that. He's like, okay, I got caught.
Doing
I did
this,
2
maybe
years.
if I do this differently.
All right, I'm gonna switch my game up. I learned from my mistakes. 2-3 months later, he's back. Then he's out. 2-3 months later, he's back. This time when he comes out, I would like to be able to give him some real advice, a real plan to not go back. What would you, from your experience, say, like, these are the steps you need to take from the minute you walk through that gate? This is the mission. You, matter of fact, start planning it before you walk through the gate.
He gotta do that
you
right
start now.
You can't
so that when you walk through that gate, you know what you're gonna do step by step. Right. For a young man like that, what would you? What's the game?
Like you just said, he got from the rip, off the rip. He got to say, you know what, I'm done. If he don't say that, if he for me, I had to not like the person who I used to be in order to change who I was.
Starts
I had
from
to not
within.
like him. I had to find fault in him. I had to say, you know what, I hate this guy, in order for me to be the new person that I wanted to be.
Right.
Because in order for that to happen, I had to say, you know what, if I'm gonna hate him, I'm gonna hate all his friends too.
That too. That is true.
Yes.
It's a community.
That's real. You got to be ready to get rid of the whole.
Yes.
If you say no, if you say I'm still gonna
That's
be
real.
Me, that person, you're not gonna change. You're gonna go back.
Shit.
That's so real.
Real talk.
I would say the advice for you, if you want to take him by the hand, find out what it is that he wants. I mean, everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be a ball player. But you say, what is it that you like? You like to draw. You like sports. What is it? And take him around that. Constantly take him around that. Maybe he might be good at this. He might be good at the radio.
Right.
So, take him with you. Hold his hand. It's only but so much you can do.
Everybody needs support.
Who are the programs he should contact as far as getting work, getting back on his feet?
Inside the system, they got a program that's called pre-release. Pre-release is a program that prepares you in advance. They tell you how to get public assistance. They tell you how to get housing. They tell you where you can even get food. All these things that they help you with prior to getting out. And it's a mandatory program.
Good. So they make it mandatory?
Yeah, once you're getting
That's
out,
what's up.
Pre-release is mandatory on your way out.
Important, yeah.
So take pre-release and take it serious.
Got you.
Gilmore, can you please just share that information? Are you on social media? Is there anything that you might want to share? At least some of the resources. I know you probably don't want nobody hitting you up.
Yeah, I mean, they can holler at me on VaughnGilmore@gmail.com, pplegalcustomer@gmail.com. That's Premier Paralegal. That's our business.
Shout out Sandler.
Any programs, programs that dudes want to get involved with. If y'all don't know, y'all can check out Com Alert. You can check out Osborne Association cases, Fortune Society. Those places right there, they help you out. And just do what you got to do. Stay focused, man. Don't let nobody steal your dreams. Don't let nobody steal your dreams, and be careful and be safe out here. Shout out to Derby Wire. I want to shout out my man Icon for Yukon Entertainment. Shout out to Shabar and all the rest of the good brothers that's out there doing the right thing. Yo, just stay focused. I got love for y'all. If y'all got love for me, if not, it is what it is.
I guess I will second that emotion.
Shout out to my beautiful wife, Lowdown over there.
Hey, boo. Hey!
You know I gotta keep
up. They didn't want to drink with us, but it's fine. But we still here nonetheless.
Again, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
Anytime y'all, I come up, I can bring guests, I can find guests.
Yes.
Keep this show hot and popping.
Thank you. They said I'm the black. The
black. The internet black. Wendy Williams.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I want to give a special shout out and a special thanks to King Gilmore, and I also want to give a shout out to my hip hop soul singer, baby mother, Mila Machenko. Can you please share your information? My name is. If you don't sing it, I swear to God,
this is the last time.
What?
Last time. I'll make up a new one. Okay. My name is MELA
Mila.
MELA.
New York City, y'all.
MELA MACHINKO.
Yo, didn't that just soothe your soul?
Facebook, Instagram.
I felt fuzzy on the inside.
Google me. YouTube. Spotify.
Brooklyn Blues, y'all.
Tidal.
Are you on Tidal too?
Yeah, girl.
Both. Jay-Z, shout to Jay. And Six's telephone number is 999. Never mind. Right, Six?
You got it.
Yo, man, love to the brother Chinks Drugs that just got murdered.
And that was my friend's nephew, and I'm so sorry. I offer my condolences. I didn't realize that was your nephew. In any instance, I offer my condolences and RIP. And I know that the funeral arrangements are up on the internet already. Don't forget, you can catch Roxanne here every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. Follow me on Twitter at Roxanne, ROX, and the number 1. On Facebook, you can catch me at Roxanne. On IG at Roxanne NYC. For all inquiries, including advice questions and sponsorship, men write in. Please email me at info@roxanne.rocks, because I rocks. Thank you guys for listening, and be well, 6 Starborn. Take us out of here. Meow.
I got a bone to pick. I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. I'm mad, but I ain't stressing. True friends. One question. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run a game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no loss. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run a game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. When you got the yams, what's the yams? The yam is the power that be. You can smell it when I'm walking down the street. Oh yes we can, oh yes we can. I can dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghost rider. What the fuck happened? Oh no, I swore I wouldn't tell. But most of y'all share bars like you got the bottle bunk in it. Too messy. Something's in the water. And if I got a brown nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a bum than a motherfucking boss. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run a gang, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off. King Kunta, black man taking no loss. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run a gang, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off. King Kunta, you got the yams. The yam brought it out of Richard Pryor. Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires. 24/7, 365 days times 2. on stage just to go and